This is not a joke anymore. Donald Trump just announced a massive order, and this made Palantir enter the next level. Around $1 trillion are on the line. Analysts are dropping their calls. Investors are scrambling to buy. Everyone just wants Palantir now. But what is actually happening, and why am I really hyped up? Well, let me explain. Disclaimer. This might just be one of the biggest days ever for Palantir. Donald Trump just dropped a huge announcement. Like, this could really shake things up. He signed an executive order that puts a big focus on using commercially available products and services. And guess what? That's exactly what Palantir offers. Palantir's platforms aren't some locked-down, secret government-only tools. They're scalable, they're adaptable, and they're already being used across both public and private sectors. So, if this order actually takes shape the way people think it might, well, let's just say this could be the moment Palantir's been waiting for. And yeah, it could send the stock moving in a very positive direction. But hold on. I know, it's exciting stuff. But before we go full speed into the Trump news, let's rewind a bit. Just recently, Palantir made its own headline-grabbing move. They announced a major partnership with Citi. Yeah, Citibank. The goal? To completely reimagine how they handle data. They're talking about boosting the client experience, being quicker on their feet, and making decisions based on real-time insights. That's a huge deal, especially coming from a giant like Citi. And when you pair that with what just came out of the White House today, let's just say the timing is very interesting. We'll circle back to that in a moment. But for now, let's break down what is currently going on leading to this. Because of everything that's been going on lately, investors are really starting to keep an eye on Palantir. And get this, it's not just retail investors anymore. Big players, the institutional ones, they're watching too. Now here's something interesting. Morgan Stanley recently adjusted their view on Palantir. They lowered the price target a little and kept it at what they call equal weight, which basically means they're neutral for now. But the reason behind this is pretty specific. They're reassessing a bunch of software companies in light of tariff risks and market uncertainty. It's more of a broad adjustment, not something directly tied to Palantir's actual performance or potential. So yeah, you might hear that and think, wait, should I be worried? But honestly, this is just one tiny piece of a much bigger puzzle, and it might not even matter in the grand scheme of what's happening right now. Because here's the real headline. President Trump just signed a game-changing executive order. This order tells federal agencies they need to stop chasing expensive, slow, custom-built systems and instead prioritize using commercial products that are already available and ready to go. This is actually a huge deal. We're talking about close to $1 trillion worth of goods and services that the government buys every year. And now, they're being told to shift how they spend that money, to go commercial, go faster, and go smarter. That's exactly where Palantir shines. Palantir's entire thing is that their platforms, Foundry and Gotham, are already built, already secure, and totally scalable. These are not some half-baked tools. They're real systems being used right now across both government and private sectors. And they don't need months of custom development to get started. They're plug and play, ready to launch. And here's another big bonus. This executive order is supposed to make the buying process simpler. Right now, winning a government contract can take forever. There's tons of paperwork, red tape, delays, you name it. But with this new direction, things could move a whole lot faster. That means Palantir could land more contracts, more quickly, and at a larger scale than ever before. And here's the kicker. They're already a trusted partner in places like the military, intelligence, health, and beyond. This could just take them to the next level. And it gets crazier. One analyst also broke it all down and pointed out something wild. These executive orders are basically saying the government should ditch outdated, expensive, custom-built systems in favor of commercial solutions that are better and cheaper. Sound familiar? That's literally the core of Palantir's past legal battle with the US Army. Palantir sued the Army because they were spending billions on a custom system that didn't even work. Meanwhile, Palantir already had a better solution ready. That whole situation dates back years, and it really shows how deeply rooted this issue has been. Imagine how much time, money, and effort could have been saved if they just went with what was already proven. And here's something straight from the fact sheet. Over the last couple of decades, if the government had just followed this commercial-first rule from the beginning, they could have saved hundreds of billions. That's not just pocket change, that's massive. So, if all of this lines up the way it's starting to look, Palantir could be standing right at the edge of something huge. If this shift really takes off, it's not just good news for the company. It could be life-changing for Palantir holders. Because if the stock starts reflecting all of this momentum, yeah, we're talking about a potentially massive move. And the crazy thing is, this might not be some far-off idea. It could actually start happening really soon. Because Palantir isn't just sitting back, they're building constantly. In fact, just today, they also dropped another big update. Palantir and Anthropic, the company behind Claude, one of the most advanced AI systems out there, just announced a brand new partnership. And this one's all about bringing Claude's AI capabilities to the federal government. This builds on their existing work together in the public sector. But now, they're taking it even further. They're teaming up through Palantir's FedStart program, which is designed to help companies navigate all the complicated compliance stuff tied to working with the government, specifically the FedRAMP system. And here's where it gets interesting. Google Cloud is also in the mix. So we're talking about a three-way collaboration between some seriously powerful players. They're working together to make sure this AI tech meets the strict security and approval standards that federal agencies require. Why does this matter? Well, federal agencies can't just plug in any tech they want. Everything has to go through this FedRAMP process, a kind of government stamp of approval for security and compliance. It's usually slow, painful, and full of red tape. But with FedStart, Palantir is basically saying, hey, we've got a shortcut. They're making it easier for AI companies like Anthropic to get through that maze and actually get their tools into government hands faster. Now you might think, well, what does this have to do with Trump's recent order? Well, it's actually perfectly aligned. The one pushing federal agencies to buy commercial, off-the-shelf tech instead of wasting time and money on custom-built stuff. This new Palantir-Anthropic partnership lines up perfectly with that. Palantir is already doing exactly what the order is asking for. They're bringing in powerful, ready-made tools like Claude, and they're making it easier and faster for those tools to be adopted by government agencies. It's like they're already 5 steps ahead. So when you stack all this together, Trump's push for commercial tech, Palantir's new moves with Citi, and now this fresh AI collaboration, you start to see the full picture forming. Palantir isn't just reacting to the news. They're positioning themselves to dominate in this new wave of government tech transformation. And if the timing clicks like it looks like it might, Palantir could be about to enter a whole new level. And even looking ahead, the future for Palantir, it's looking really bright. Because Palantir isn't just another tech company. They're different. There was this tweet from one of Palantir's engineers that really hit the nail on the head. He said, "The reason we don't need an army of salespeople at Palantir is that software that works sells itself." That right there says it all. Palantir doesn't have to rely on hype or flashy marketing gimmicks. Their products actually work. They solve real problems. They're being used in the real world by some of the most demanding organizations on the planet. That's what makes them stand out. And now with Trump's executive orders, it's almost like the rules just shifted in Palantir's favor. The government is being told, stop wasting time and money on building your own stuff, and just use what's already working. That's Palantir's entire pitch. It's what they've been building toward for years. They didn't have to pivot or change direction. They're already there. They've already proven that their platforms, Foundry, Gotham, can scale, can adapt, and can deliver fast. So when you combine all of that with what's happening now, the policy shifts, the strategic partnerships, the growing attention from big investors, it's hard not to feel like Palantir just became unstoppable. They're not just ahead of the curve, they might be the curve. But what is your opinion on this? Comment down below. If you are curious to find more, then make sure to click on one of the videos you see on the screen. And with that, we come to the end of this video. If you enjoyed the video, then turn on the notifications bell on this channel. Missing an important Palantir update might make you lose money, so don't risk it. Also, please share this video with as many people as possible. Let's get this news out there.